Britain has been hit by a snow bomb with freezing temperatures and a blanket of snow announcing the arrival of winter with a vengeance. Hundreds of schools have confirmed they will be closed. Motorists are being warned to beware treacherous roads and potentially black ice, and even more snow is forecast to fall on Monday. The severe weather has caused travel chaos, with flights delayed, cancelled and diverted, and problems on the train lines too. So if you're far from home or can't get to your destination, what treatment and compensation should you expect? Grimster, at TravelSupermarket, explains flight disruptions aren't ideal, especially when you're looking forward to your big getaway or a Christmas shopping trip. However, there are some tips that are worth bearing in mind to minimize disruption. If you have a flight booked, check with your airline and airport well before leaving home for any updates and advice on disruption to schedules. Alternatively, contact your airline by phone and ensure it has your up-to-date contact details lodged in your booking. Rail companies also publish details of delays and changes to schedules online, and you can log on to driving organizations such as the RAC or the Highways Agency for the latest road conditions. Local and national radio stations such as the BBC also offer up-to-the-minute information. When traveling to the airport, allow extra time for your journey, especially if you're traveling by road. It's a good idea to check beforehand that your car is in peak condition for the roads, with topped-up oil, fuel, antifreeze and water, as well as a supply of warm clothes, food and drink. Remember that if you miss your flight due to road conditions or the failure of public transport to get you to the airport, this is your responsibility, and the airlines are within the rights to charge you for a new flight. Missed flight cover in a good quality travel insurance policy will be able to help with this. Flights cancelled with disruption likely. Travelers should pay extra attention to warnings, bulletins and updates with regards to all journeys, including short and long haul flights, coach trips, Eurostar and train travel. If you're worried your flight may be cancelled or delayed due to extreme weather, keep an eye on the relevant social media pages and make a note of the contact numbers to call for up-to-the-minute updates. Here's the breakdown: the most popular airports and contact details. Flight diversions: if your flight is rerouted, they'll have to pay you to get as close to your original destination as possible. If your flight is rerouted due to bad weather, your rights may be slightly different. Firstly, if the air carrier proposes a flight to an alternative airport instead, they must bear the cost of transfer between the alternative airport to a close B destination agreed by you passenger. Contact the airline involved. If a diversion leads to a delay, check the delays section below to find out about your rights. Grimster adds, if you find your travel arrangements disrupted, one of the quickest ways to find out your rights is to download the Passenger Rights app, which offers guidance on your travel rights in the EU. If your flight has been diverted, the air carrier has to bear the cost of the transfer between the alternative airport and a close by destination to your original destination. Contact your carrier directly to agree this. What are my rights if my flight is cancelled or delayed due to bad weather? The airline doesn't have to pay compensation for flights cancelled as a result of severe weather. Image Getty: if your flight is cancelled, you have the legal right to either a full refund, including on other flights that you won't be able to use in the same booking, such as onward or return flights. Alternatively, you're entitled to a replacement flight to get you to your destination. You may also be able to claim compensation if your flight is delayed for 3 hours or more and you're flying from a to a European airport, or with an EU-based airline such as Ryanair or British Airways. See our Flight Delays Compensation Guide for more information. In some cases, the airline may claim extraordinary circumstances and therefore refuse your claim. However, if, for example, you are told you can't fly due to weather conditions, but other flights are departing, you may choose to challenge the airline. If you were planning to travel overseas this week only to find your flight has been cancelled, it's crucial you know your rights and you don't end up out of pocket, explained Hannah Maundrell, editor of money.co.uk. If your flight is cancelled, you're entitled to a refund within 7 days or an alternative flight. If you need to travel to a different airport to take it, you should ask the airline to pay. It must be the airline's fault for you to be entitled to compensation. Extraordinary circumstances, such as snow, will not automatically entitle you to claim for inconvenience, but it's always worth asking. It's not confirmed that all flights will be affected, so the key thing is to check with your airline before you travel to the airport. You are entitled to assistance, including the choice between a full refund of the cost of your ticket, an alternative flight to your final destination at the earliest opportunity, an alternative flight at a later date of your choosing, subject to availability. If you choose an alternative flight to your final destination at the earliest opportunity, you are also entitled to food and drink if your wait is over 2 hours, hotel accommodation where a stay of 1 or more nights is necessary, 2 phone calls or emails. Airlines must offer assistance until they can get you to your destination, but your right to compensation only applies if the cause of the delay is within the airline's control. Train delays or cancellations due to bad weather. National Rail, which oversees all train lines, says customers must be able to claim compensation if their train arrived more than an hour late. Emma Colthurst from TravelSupermarket.com told Mirror Money Grand Central, Great Western Railway and Southwest Trains are the only companies that stick to this 60-minute rule. If you are traveling with any other train company, such as Virgin or Great Northern, you can claim compensation if you are delayed over 30 minutes. To claim, you need to submit a form online or in the post. Most firms do this through a delay repay compensation scheme. Keep hold of all your receipts and make a note of the time you arrived at your destination. If you don't have it anymore, as most likely it was gobbled by a machine at a ticket barrier, you should be able to use your receipt or credit card statement. What about Eurostar delays or cancellations? Eurostar has a series of rules in place to protect its customers' image. Getty, if you're traveling on Eurostar, the good news is no journeys have been affected today. However, as always, double check your trip before you leave home. You can do this at www.eurostar.com. You can travel info. For reference, here's the breakdown of your rights if you do experience any issues on your journey. Any delays of an hour or more could mean you're entitled to money back. For delays between 60 minutes and 119 minutes, you can claim a refund of 25% of the price of your single ticket or a Eurostar voucher to use on a future journey to the value of 25% of the fare which you paid for. Or delay of 120 to 179 minutes, you can claim either a refund of 50% of the fare or a voucher for 50% of your paid fare. For a delay of 3 hours or more, you can claim either a refund of 50% of the fare or a voucher for 75% of the fare. With a delay of more than 1 hour, you may decide not to travel, in which case you can exchange your ticket for free and travel on another date within 120 days, 90 days if your booking involves onward travel with another train company, subject to availability. Alternatively, you can request a full refund, regardless of your original ticket conditions. Make sure you keep your original tickets and all your receipts. You'll need these to make your claim. If your Eurostar is delayed or cancelled and you need to stay the night, Eurostar must provide a taxi. If you'd prefer to spend the night at home or at a friend's place, they will cover the cost of a taxi for you to get there, up to £50. For taxi, a hotel stay, up to £150, a room for night meals, up to £50 a person for each 24-hour period. I have travel insurance. I covered. It's moody out there. Image Reuters. In all cases it is advised that the customer speaks to the airline tour operator travel agent in the first instance. If an airline cancels a flight, an initial claim for a new flight should be made against the firm. Mirror Money asked travel insurance provider Aviva for some advice on whether you will be covered if your journey is affected by adverse weather. The firm said Aviva travel insurance customers who are checked in at the airport and their flight is delayed or cancelled because of bad weather would be able to claim £25 per person for every 12-hour period. They would also have the option to abandon their outward trip from the UK if they're delayed for a period of 24 hours or more. If you've added any form travel disruption cover to your policy, whatever your provider, you will most likely be covered for travel and accommodation for severe disruptions, whether you're unable to get to their airport, or the airline itself has cancelled the flight. It's worth double-checking this with your provider before your flight departs. In this instance, customers who are forced to cancel their booked holiday because of flooding to their home will likely also be covered. Jason Harris, senior claims manager for Aviva, told Mirror Money traffic is likely to be slower on those roads affected by bad weather. If you're heading off on holiday, check traffic reports well in advance and leave extra time to get the airport. We would recommend that UK holidaymakers with booked flights departing UK airports check their flights and then contact the airline or travel provider for further advice if there are cancellations or delays. If you're a nationwide Flex account or Flex Plus customer, the bank says if your flight is cancelled and an alternative is not available within 6 hours for trips of 4 nights or less, or 12 hours for trips of 5 nights or more, then the policy provides cover for the trip to be abandoned should the customer wish to take that course of action. However, it is important to note that if a policy is set up after the incident for departure within the next few days, there will be no cover for travel delays or missed departures, as you will effectively be buying cover in the knowledge that there is a problem that could result in a claim. My flight is part of a package holiday. What happens here? If your outward or return cancelled flight is part of a package holiday, your holiday will be protected by the atoll scheme and your tour operator will look after you, explains TravelSupermarket. If your outward flight is affected, you will be offered a full refund on your whole holiday or the option to rebook the same holiday, at the same price, again when it's available. If your return flight is cancelled, your tour operator will cover all extra costs such as accommodation in your holiday destination and will sort out getting you home as soon as is possible. But, again, don't just book your own accommodation. Speak to your tour operator about its policy.